So we covered how you have the podium to stand behind until you get comfortable. If you want to step out from behind the podium, you can still bring your note cards, and then as you read through them, you can flip like this, okay? Now, if you don't get comfortable back here yet, it's our first big presentation, so it's fine if you stay here.
Yeah.
Okay? I'd like you to have your novel so that you can show it and then pass it around for people to look at while you tell. All right? So, I read The Barcode Tattoo. Please remember my book talk is going to be a little less detailed than what I expect from you because I read this 2 years ago. But it's a very, very good book, and this is why I picked it up. Even though I read it 2 years ago, it still sticks with me. It's something I think about a lot. The Barcode Tattoo was written by Susan Wen, and it's 250 pages. There's an author's note at the end that's 2 pages, so I guess 252 if you want to be exact, because you'll want to read the author's note. It tells about how she came up with the idea to write this story. It's a fiction book. It's set in the future, so the subgenre is science fiction. It's set in the year 2025, where it's a community now where instead of having ID cards, driver's license, debit cards, you get a tattoo on your arm, which you can see on the cover of the book. And when you go to a store, you just scan your arm, and then it'll pull from your bank account, or if you go to the doctor, it'll show your medical records and that sort of thing. I don't know the lexile of this book, but I would guess that the reading level is somewhere between like 5th grade and 7th grade level. I think everybody in my classes could read it easily and enjoy it. The theme of this book, I would say, is rebelling or standing up for what you believe in, because in the story, Kayla, the main character, doesn't want to get a barcode tattoo. She has this strange gut feeling that there's something else the government is up to. Because when they tattoo kids at the age of 18, and when they tattoo them, they take a blood sample, and it seems like sometimes people who have a predisposition to something like cancer or another sort of illness, that they aren't getting approved for things like home loans or car loans. They can't get jobs as adults. So she's thinking that those things are connected, and she doesn't want a barcode tattoo until she knows what's going on. The reason she started off not trusting is because at the very start of the book, her father committed suicide because of his barcode tattoo. He worked for the company that created them, and he knows the ins and outs. So she's a few different times looked through some of the things in his den to try to find what the information is that her dad was so upset about, but she can't find it. She just knows she trusts her father, and if he was that upset about it, she should not, don't just say, I'll write it down. She was not supposed to get one. She just doesn't feel right about it. The point of view is third person limited, because as I was reading, I could tell, because as I was reading and playing it out like a movie in my head, the cameras in my head only followed Kayla someplace. Only followed Kayla. They didn't go with the other characters, though the author did reveal how those people felt through dialogue. It wasn't in the narration, so it's third person limited. Like I said, the story is set in the year 2025 in a random American city. That's supposed to give the reader the feel that it could be any place at all, that this could be happening for real in 2025. The main character, Kayla, has a few friends, Allison and Nedra, and one's a boy, one's a girl, and they help her discover or help her hunt down what's wrong with the government being involved in these barcode tattoos. Nedra does have a tattoo himself, but he tries to he fakes out the government a little bit, and he does have the tattoo, but he tries to hide it and tries not to do things that require him to use it. The main conflict is that Kayla doesn't want to get the tattoo. So for some of the rising action, she has to find ways to avoid it since her 18th birthday was coming up, and she should be getting it. It's a really interesting section because the place you go get the barcode tattoo is the post office of all places. boxes, and something happens to the post office in her town, which I don't want to tell you and give it away. My personal opinion is that this book is awesome. I found it super interesting that it was connected to today. The author connected the way we use social security numbers, which we've had since the 1950s, that turned into having driver's licenses and even students having IDs, using debit cards to access our bank accounts at stores. As each thing has progressed in our real life, it got more and more interesting to me that this idea of barcode tattoos is not that far off, especially since in the book they microchip infants when they're born at the hospital. They put a microchip in their foot, and a lot of us already do that with our pets. So I thought that it was kind of spooky.